Hello there, this is Cookies, and we've got turn 87 of Abysia, and this is the start of a series of turns where I'm going to be pulling double duty as Hinnom. I don't think I'm going to go ahead and show Hinnom's turns, because I mean we can see all the same battles. Um, it just seems like it would be maybe too much, although maybe I could show scripting at some point if folks are interested. But I'm not doing a heck of a lot that we won't be able to just see from the Abysia turns. Oh, give me 1 second. All right, just pulling up like the overworld map. I think it's a little bit easier to talk from. All right, so we've got what looks like a counter-thugging operation. So we've got 3 Dakinis coming in, or no, 2 Dakinis and a Raksharaja. They're all going to do life for life spam. Now, this one's the Hellsword Skull Staff one. This one's also a Hellsword. Alright. And the final life for a life comes in. Alright. So we lose both of these thugs. They probably pick up a fair amount of gear, but that's alright. Okay, and then we do some flames from the sky. But apparently the army isn't here. Or moved or whatever, so it doesn't actually do much. Maybe that was meant to catch anything that gatewayed in. And then we got a pretty interesting TNG group here. It's a lot of research mages. We do have Baba Yaga the Golem. And then we've got, I think, 4 Ancient Presences. They're all commanderized so they can cast. Despite their fire vulnerability, they're not really susceptible to flames from the sky. They just have too much HP. And then we've got a few mages that are all kitted out with gems and whatnot, so would be good to kill some of those. In terms of like a gem for gem trade that can help offset. So this is 2 casts. Looks like 2 casts because of the pause. I'm not sure how many it is. I don't actually have Flames from the Sky researched yet. Because my research is terrible. So this was Hinnom casting. But, I mean, we kill a fair number of the mages here. So, seems reasonably worth it. Let's say we've got a Raksharaja diving in. Another Winds of Death caster. You need to be at least Death 3 to do Winds of Death. Death 3, Air 1. And because you can spend the extra gem to get an extra effective level of death. So he spends 2 death gems per cast. We got Marble Army, Demon Cleansing. This also functions to gym bait us, because we go ahead and do our Army of Mist. Blow through a bunch of blood slaves. Alright. But we do eventually break through. We go ahead and kill that. We lose 15 Blackhawks and gems. And then Baratos rolls in with a couple of vampires. They're each also set up to do Winds of Death. Angiri, though, not very susceptible to Winds of Death. And then our Bless, I think, helps a little bit with the disease resistance or whatever. Like the aging at half speed. I think that also helps. Corpse constructs even are fairly resilient to it, so I think it's mostly targeting the human mages. Alright, so we send the vampires home. Oh, did they have like rings of returning on them or something? Or did they just flee? Okay. But anyways, it causes a little bit of attrition, but not much. Holy Anthem. We've got a She-Lord Thug that Kalos has commanderized. So Sword of Swiftness, Frostbrand. You can just see the script and then we can bounce. He's just killing PD. Displaced Body, Shroud of Bewilderment, Personal Barkskin, Blessing. Alright. And then we get raided by this Ancient Presence squad. So they've got the Iron Skin, Iron Will guy, and they've got a Body Ethereal guy. So we've got this Ancient Presence and this one. Elemental Fortitude's an important part of the script. It helps them a little bit with their fire vulnerability. Alright. So looking at the script, here it is. Oops. Here it is. And then Body Ethereal, Strength of Giants. Yeah. Hopefully that kind of shows that off. And then we have an Atavi. Is this Atavi Chieftain thugged out? What is going on with this guy? Okay. Apparently not. Now I'm really curious. Does he kill this crew? Like, what's going on here? Oh no, he just pings it. Gosh, I'm being silly. Yeah, but was defeated. Alright. Couple of scout pings. We got a Yaksha Thug, probably life for life. So we've got Ravenous Swarm going up from the Guru. And we've got Iron Skin, Body Ethereal. So yeah, life for life bounces in. But then Ravenous Swarm comes through, knocks out the vampire, sends it home. So we do lose a thug there, but we also sent home a vampire. And depending on where the vampire was summoned, it can take quite some time for a vampire to get home. So let's see. I think that was here. In Darmius, we've got Marverni attacking Roos, just a little boar raid. Got 150 Draconians from Lanka jumping on Makona AI. Got an Adept jumping on this crew. Oh, but he's feeble-minded. All right. But you can see a whole pile of additional ancient presences. They are all commanders. They've all got MR gear on them. And Chakra's gear, it looks like. Then we've got the Paper of the White Tiger. It's got a Bloodstone and a Ring of Tamed Lightning, some Earth and Astral. Yeah, pretty scary looking group of presences there. Alright. Where was that? I think we were attacking Tianchi. Then we've got Lanka here. So another, I think, Winds of Death caster goes ahead and jumps in. This particular army we've got, though, has some neat stuff. So we've got more yogis and gurus in this. We've got a couple of thugs out on the flanks. Got this enchanted mirror that makes this army look larger than it is, so maybe a juicier target. Demon Bane, Frostbrand Thug. We've got Demon Cleansing. This one's also got a Hell Sword. We've got a Mummy in here with a Snake Bladder Stick and Elemental Armor. What's your heroic trait? Okay, so Reinvigoration 12. Honestly, this would be a fun one to empower and fire, because then you could make a pretty sick Phoenix Pyre Thug. And then give it some MR gear. I don't think I noticed that. Well, I know I didn't notice it when we were playing. We're still a few turns behind. But yeah. So we're going to get hit by another Wind of Death. Doesn't look like it affected the Mage Core at all. And then we seal the Raksharaja. Let's see. So I think that was here. But it looks like it's a different RNG, I guess, because the Ngiri kill it. So we're definitely getting some replay bugs, it looks like. The She-Lord back out there. I think we've seen some of this stuff. Yeah. Gosh, my brain is just not focused today. Alright, so that was this one. Yeah. So Traveler's Rest. Then we get hit with a Scout, which is whatever. We go ahead and storm the fort. And then in Bell, it looks like we might get a big battle. Alright, so we got Marverni storming a Roos fort now. So we got a bunch of Draconians. We've got Chewed Skin Shifters. Got a smallish Mage Core in the center. A Cloud Vila. That's interesting. A couple of them, actually. Then we got the big Marverni Mage Ball, which has now added some Great Bears. So we still have the Ankh, we've got Air Gems, we've got Pearls, we've got MR gear on this Elder Druid, so probably a Master and Slave coming in. Nothing much on the Roos Mages. And then a whole bunch of Twist Fate amulets to try and protect the Communion from turn 1 stuff, like Earthquake. Here's the Lux Sword. Yeah, so we've got Anti-Magic Caster, the Adept for Roos, and then the 2 Cloud Vilas, Air 4 and Air 3. Alright, so let's go ahead and watch it. time stop coming out. We might speed it up through this part. Alright, the master and slave comes out. Alright. So Marverni gains 14 Draconian, 7 chewed skin shifters. Get added to his 22. Loses 59 Great Pores. And wipes out the Roost Force. I don't know that I'm assuming it's a lot of the same buffs that we've seen before from this Marverni army, and the Roost buffs didn't really matter. So I'm not sure that we necessarily need to dive into that more. I didn't see a lot of gems on the Roost army, so. Alright. So this is Marverni securing the entrances to the Roost team's island. They've already sent some raids ahead. And then over on our end, we do have some vulnerabilities up here in the north, and there's this big pan army. We don't have a lot of stuff up here. We do have Thetis' Blessing, and then that's like, this one's a sea, but it looks like land. So this is actually cut off by sea now because of their lost land casts. And then, but yeah, Kaelasa is mostly focusing forces on trying to take Pepper Plain from Baratos. But we've got a fair number of armies here. We've got the Ancient Presences. We've got the big Pangea army. Then we've got this Ulm army. We've got a Wonka army moving in. So it's just a lot of stuff. Now I'm doing this turn for Hinnom, so a lot of the Hinnom stuff is just going to be shuffling towards the front. And I think we're planning to give Brightgate to Hinnom, and that's so we can build a fort here. And then with Water Kobolds, we can sail to Earthshore, anything that's map move 1, and that lets Kaelasa keep Desert of the Cliff Dwellers, because he wanted to keep that one. Because it's got, I think, 6 pearls of income. So he wanted to hold on to that throne. So for our map move 1 stuff, we can sail it to Earthshore. And for our map move 2 stuff, it can just walk. And that will allow us to get safely from the kind of like the back lines to the front line. So that'll secure the logistics. I'm not sure how long it'll take us to come up with that, but we come up with it reasonably quickly. While Zan is on vacation. And then on my end, now that I'm having a chance to look at Hinnom's turns, I'm getting a little bit better idea of what might be good for Hinnom. So trying to focus some more. Also, I think I'm starting to turn up Sayer production potentially in Earthshore, or at least back here, just trying to get more Sayer online so that we can roll out maybe like a Doomstack with 100 Sayer. Even if we don't have a lot of shed, it would still be nice. At least while we wait for chaining to become active. And then, yeah, I think that's most of it. In terms of what we're casting this. we're foraging this. And then we're sending this. I'm holding back a lot of the gear. So I'm focusing a lot of the gear production on me now. So I can try to equip an army. And because both Kalos and Hinnom have pretty full labs, I just can't really give them much more without them just throwing stuff on random commanders. And yeah, I suppose we can take a quick peek at Hinnom's turn. Alright, so I've got Hinnom's turn here. And you can see it's mostly about just getting stuff towards the front line. We've got some long dead raids. These I think are okay in the early and maybe even the mid game. But I am a little bit concerned about them. They probably struggle to kill vampires and golems. And a lot of the thugs that are rolling around at this point in the game. So I think they need some mage support to effectively raid, but I'm not going to update them just yet. I think I'm just focused on getting stuff out there. So we're going to use them for like retaking stuff a little bit, and then let's see, we're doing 3 red seconds. We're putting a 3 red seconds in Klon to secure the logistics and the 3 entrances to this area. And that's so we can patrol them and also move stuff between north and south safely, even if there's a river and a mountain range. So that's the point of that. And then we're doing a few Flames from the Sky casts. We're trying to target this large Pangea army. But there's a downside to trying to target that. And I will show you that in the next turn when we get to that. And then we've got, we're trying out some different stuff. I'm throwing out a Horror Seed. I'm trying some Project Self stuff with this monkey. Here's what the lab looks like. So it's a lot of stuff. And yeah, just trying to get stuff organized, doing a lot of hiring, picking up a lot of shamans. I'm going to put the lanterns on the shamans so I can roll out the Ami as battle mages. So organizing that part, putting out Talistic Animates. We were talking about doing a lot more blood sacking. So that's something that Hinnom and I are working on. And since I'm now doing his turns, we can really work on it. So we've got Talistic Animates getting made and starting to blood sack. And then I think down here, yeah, I'm finishing having Hinnom give me the cave provinces since I get a cave income bonus. And it'll help me determine, well, yeah, I can do more mage recruitment down here and stuff too. And then we're talking about giving this to Kirby so he can put a new Nexus Gate here. So we're going to keep using Nexus Gate as a way to get around the map and save time on that front. But yeah, so you can see a lot of the different stuff happening here. Hinnom's picking up gnomes, doing transformation on them. We've got this Etten here. Now, some of these gnomes I think would be good just to leave as stealthy glamour mages, even though they've only got 6 HP. Having full slots and being able to stealth around is also pretty valuable. So probably won't transform all of them. But yeah, you can see another Flames from the Sky going out here. But yeah, I think we'll call this episode rather than do some monster like 50-minute thing. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.